Across the United States, children as young as 10 years old can be tried as adults. In some states, there is no minimum age at all, and children as young as 7 have been housed in adult jails. 39 states hold children in adult prisons while awaiting trial. And according to an analysis of state trends by the University of Texas, most of the crimes these children are charged with are minor offenses, and almost all are nonviolent.
When you sentence a child to an adult prison, you're not only sentencing them to the prison term, you're sentencing them to legal child abuse. Because they're sexually assaulted, they're physically assaulted, they're tormented, they're scared to death enough to where, like Jonathan, they kill themselves. You might as well just sentence them to death. You might as well just say it. Because that's what happens. And if they don't physically die, they mentally die.
Supporters of trying children as adults say the practice is a strong deterrent to crime. But critics say studies show that children are actually prime candidates for rehabilitation. That's because their young brains are not yet fully developed. Educational and vocational opportunities, which are mandatory in juvenile facilities, are scarce in adult prisons. In 40% of those facilities, these services don't exist. Congressman Bobby Scott, who serves in the House Judiciary Committee, says locking kids up as adults is counterproductive.
So if your goal is to reduce crime, you would oppose trying more juveniles as adults. Now, very few of them get sentences that are life sentences, so they will be getting, overwhelming portion will be getting out. And the question is, what will they be like when they get out?
For many young men, being in an adult jail means being raped and abused. Male teenagers and children represent 21% of those sexually assaulted in U.S. prisons, even though they are less than 1% of the adult prison population.
A new adult came in, and Jonathan said that these other adults that were in there took this new guy like back to the back somewhere, and he said, "Mom, I could hear him screaming." And he said it was so creepy. And he said when the guy came back out, he said, "I couldn't even recognize him. He was beat up so bad."
For a young person who's placed in general population in an adult facility, they're the most at risk of being harmed in that facility. They're young, they're inexperienced, they're immature, they're vulnerable.
The Centers for Disease Control estimate that young people locked in adult prisons are 34 times more likely to reoffend and with a more serious crime. They are also more likely to be raped, assaulted, held in solitary confinement, and have 36 times the rate of suicide as young people in juvenile facilities. Advocates want Congress to do something about it now.
Congress is often part of the problem.
Under a 1996 law called the Prison Litigation Reform Act, inmates cannot sue a prison over conditions or harm they suffer without first exhausting internal administration procedures. In other words, complaining to the authorities they are complaining about. Many states have no outside inspectors to monitor prison conditions. The federal law called the Prison Rape Elimination Act, or PREA, was designed to change that by creating state oversight of prisons to protect inmates from sexual assault. First passed 10 years ago, the legislation bans housing, showering, or placing young people with adult inmates. Kids cannot be housed in isolation, and juveniles have to be offered educational and work opportunities, even in an adult jail. Beginning this September, the law mandates governors to begin auditing detention and correctional facilities or lose some federal funding. Prisoner rights advocates say removing children from adult jails is the only way to adequately implement the law. They are asking supporters to call their governors this month to demand that children be removed from adult facilities.
Those who are assaulted in prison tend to be much more likely to be violent in the future, and that's not really part of your punishment. If you commit a crime, you're punished with time in prison, but sexual assault shouldn't be part of the punishment.
Leila McDowell, Arise News, Washington.